Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another exciting episode of Meet the. I'm your host, Troy Rawlings, and today we have the amazing author, fashionista. Used to be a hairstylist actually in my spot in Baltimore. We used to do hair together. You
Yeah.
wouldn't. We did. She a fly hairstyle. Author of the books. 0 to 100, the Warrior's Way to Winning, and Just Making Happy, Command Your Happy Lifestyle. An artist, phenomenal. She is. I told her earlier. I've never used the term Renaissance woman, but I actually have to use the term Renaissance woman for the one and only my friend, Miss Tani Campbell. How are you, girl?
Hey, whoa, 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 whoa.
Ow!
Thanks, Troy. That's awesome. We did hair together.
Yeah, we've known each other for well over 20 years.
Yeah, it's been a while. Full circle
Right?
from Baltimore
Right?
to Burbank. I say from the
Baltimore.
barbershop to Burbank. You say from Baltimore to Burbank.
From the
But
barbershop to Burbank.
here we are. Nevertheless, here we are.
I had to and believe it or not, we're in a, for those of you that see this later on, this is just another Meet the episode of Amazing People, but we're in a new year. We're in 2022. We made it through the pandemic and another year and another year. And this is actually my first interview of 2022, if I'm not mistaken. And who better to interview than a Renaissance woman? And it's kind of, I guess we don't use the term Renaissance woman, maybe because women always do multiple things. They
We
always have other things going on.
Pastor Sharon, that term, resonated when you said it to me because Pastor Sharon used to say that about me. She used to call me a Renaissance woman. In our, in the church arena, we're looking for purpose. And I remember having a conversation with her, like, you know me, like, what's my purpose? Because I can do a whole bunch of stuff and I enjoy doing all of it. So what is my purpose? And I literally went, and that's how desperate I was, Troy, because your face is like, what? Right.
No, you never told me. We talk about stuff all the time, but I've never thought about the term until you were sitting and you were talking about a couple things. And I was like, yo, he was like, Troy, I got this, it's about elevage. And then she goes on to tell me what elevage means. I'll let her go into that. But it made so much sense. She was drinking the wine. She was sitting there doing the artwork like she was just writing a note, like it was no big thing. Like there's a piece, you may not be able to see it because of the view, but she's doing a piece of artwork and all of the art around her is her art. And she was here in Los Angeles. You were here in Los Angeles. We talking, I think we have a winery, San Antonio.
You're at the wine.
And,
Took me and
and he was like, I've been doing art, Troy. I was like, no, how would I know that? She's like, no, I did some pieces during the pandemic. And everybody's been doing something during the pandemic. But she showed me a piece. And y'all know, anybody that knows me know I love jazz, love music, love colors. And I was like, yo, I need art. What? Who did this? You got to ask, what? Who? What? And I was like, no, I just started doing it. I said, no, you didn't. You must have known you could draw. And she said, well, I could draw, but I hadn't done anything with paint. So how did tell the people, because somebody is looking at your stuff and say, oh, she's a professional.
No, during the scandemic, but during the scandemic, like most people, I was looking for something more to do. It's one thing because in my career I worked from home, but I traveled a lot. So just being stuck in, I was looking for more creative things to do because I'm a creative. You know how when people ask me, what do you do? And I'm sitting there like, shit, what don't I do? I'm a creative, Right. I just create. I create. Inspiration comes. I'm a, like I can take an idea and know you got to pat yourself on the back. So don't take this the wrong way, but I can sit on the phone, have a glass of wine with somebody, and then we just kick around ideas. And then like, I'm that kind of person who can just keep coming. It'll keep building. But nevertheless, I'm sitting home during pandemic trying to figure out what to do. And I went and got a sketch pad and I started sketching. And then I was like, all right, now I already have like all kinds of arts and crafts materials. So I didn't have to run off and try to buy paints. I had paints and paintbrushes for some other stuff that I do. And but I went and bought canvas. And I did my first piece, and I was like, this is pretty good. And then I started to experiment with the brushes, the colors, the paints, trying to understand what the mediums were. YouTube University, definitely.
Come on, YouTube.
YouTube University. But the thing is that even though I knew I could draw, there has been times when I've looked at paintings and I'm attracted to them and like, wow, I wish I could do that, or and you just never know. And now it just gets better and better and better. And when you came at me about selling the pieces and everything, they were just, I was doing this.
Yes, her pieces are for sale.
But that I'm doing this for my own energies, my own healing energies, for me to sit around it and think, wow, just trying something new, this is what evolves. So the pieces have a lot of meaning to me, as far as at my age, to elevate and learn something new like this, it's amazing. So, but I didn't know I could do this.
It's amazing on a number of levels. Like I said, TANI has always been an entrepreneur. She was a braider in my shop, and she's always been the type of person you want to keep around. That's something that I value most about you. The energy you always bring, no matter what you're going through. No one's going to tell it on the outside, because you're not bringing complaint. You're not bringing anything crazy. What I'm saying? It's the stuff. Sometimes I tell people it's the stuff you don't bring that will attract people to you and attract better things to you. But when I saw the art, it just fucked me up. It was just, my mind was, and I was like, but you were showing me the art while schooling me on wine. So she was schooling me on wine and showing me the art. And I was like, this is like who you are. So it's dope. Shout out to my cousin Breeze. She was one of the people that when I said I was moving to California, she was like, it's about time. I was like, she was like, and I was like, but people say I do so much, I'm doing this. She was like, Troy, in California, you're just a talent. You're a talent. That's what you're supposed to do.
But you were a talent in Baltimore. You had already created so many avenues, from Heaven 600, with your you and Pastor Vernon, and that's my ghost host, Daddy's Baby. Yeah. All those. You had the barbershop. Like you were already shaking and moving. So you know how it is. Baltimore is our home. I love Baltimore, but places get too small. So it really did make sense for you to, because of where you were in Baltimore, it was time for you to take it to the next level, Right. So, and
likewise, TANI and Art by TANI and Elevage. All right, for those that don't know, because I keep saying Elevage, give them a little depth about what the Elevage and Elevage lifestyle is all about.
Wow. So like you said, I always consider myself a businesswoman. When somebody would talk, I would say, listen, I like it behind the scenes. That's where all the money is at, behind the scenes. So I prided myself as being a closer. I can close a deal. You put me in the room, I can negotiate, I can close, adapt to situations and so forth. So that was my strength and what I've been doing with all these businesses. I don't want to say any of the businesses failed, because each one of them are still very much alive in me. And now what I see happening is that everything I've done is turning into what I'm looking at, or what I'm calling my culture community. I'm still a businesswoman, but I'm a creative. And now I'm at a point in my life where, listen, I'm 51, and this is like third quarter. You know what I'm saying? This is third quarter. And everybody doesn't make it to the fourth quarter. I will, but I'm just saying. So right now, I just feel like once you hit 50, if you're not doing what you want to do, or, now's the time. So I'm at a place in my life where I don't want to be safe. I don't want to live safely, or, I'm a risk taker, don't get it wrong. But I don't want to just be a business person, or the chasing the business. I just want to create. And whatever that is at that moment, be it a new business, be it a piece of art, be it a shirt or a cup or a hair, whatever. I just want to, a shirt, you know what I mean? Because I'm just bored.
Right.
I'm going to cut this bitch up. Whatever. That's what I want to be. And I have a lot of girlfriends who are my age, and I'm watching, and sometimes they're afraid to elevate. You know, you
Right.
feel like once you get to a certain age, you're stable, it's comfortable, it's a lot of regards, and this is what I know. So for me to step out and say I'm gonna be an artist at 51, I'm sure some people are looking at me like, what? Why how the hell you gonna pay your rent? You know, but that's what life is all about. You know, just doing something new, growing, elevating. Elevage is actually a term used in wine. I'm a wino. Elevage is a company brand that I started, and it means it's a period when wine it is being raised. So look at it as being going from adolescence to adulthood, and during that time period is when the process in there is what makes a good wine. It's either going to be a good wine or a bad wine during that period of elevage. And that's the same thing with us. You know, we're constantly, or we should constantly continue to be raised. Just because I'm 50 doesn't mean that I've elevated to all the heights that I wish to reach.
Right.
So it started all just about the wine, you know, elevage, the wino experience, so that I can come and teach you guys that wine is an experience. You don't just drink wine, you live wine. It's the nectar of the gods, right? So I came up with the Elevage brand. My mother helped me name Elevage whenever we're doing any business. Yeah, I jump on the phone. We on the phone like, listen, I need a name. I got a current name. So we start just throwing stuff around. And she actually found Elevage. And I looked it up and listened to the interpretation and translation of it. And I was like, geez. But so far, the wino, Elevage, the wino experience has evolved to Elevage the lifestyle. So Elevage life. Not only enhancing your wino, but enhancing your sexy, because I have the passions and pleasure department of the Elevage brand, and that's lingerie, fun adult toys. Just, you know, you gotta keep you sexy no matter what. You know, I think we were talking earlier, and I was saying like I don't want to get so old that I don't enjoy the pleasures of the pleasures. And we, you know what I'm saying? We get to a certain age and now we so proper, we can't have no fun no more. Well, I still want to have fun and I still want my sexy. And I know a lot of women my age feel the same way, you know, with our original bodies and all that stuff, sagging, bringing up, down, whatever. It still is, because sexy is a mindset, Troy. You know that. It's just a state of mind.
I definitely know it. And here's what's so funny. You know, just like I know, I remember wanting to be, you know, you're young, you're preteen, you can't wait to be a teenager, so can't wait to, when teenage, can't wait to get older, you can't wait to, and so at a teenager, you trying to be, and it's almost like something happens in the transition, or lately with the 7-day work weeks, with all the responsibilities, that we forget that we thought being an adult and being older was sexy. We thought it was all the stuff we couldn't do. So we wanted to act like we were an adult, or the adults we saw, or we thought, oh, they can do this, they can do this, they can go out, not knowing that they just winding the fuck down from all the responsibilities and stuff they had. Mm-hmm. But now it seems like, I was listening to an interview with Mike Tyson. Shannon Sharp was interviewing Mike Tyson. And he talked about life being about loss. And he was like, man, you lose your hair, you lose your teeth, eventually you're going to lose your life. He said, if people can balance out that there is loss in life, so don't use it as some kind of depressing thing. Use it. We went through two of the most horrendous years in the last 100-year history, with pandemic and all this other stuff. And to be on the other side is surviving. So it's like we've survived already. So why not thrive and try something different? Why not try this?
Is it really lost, Troy? I mean, honestly, anything that we have, and I understand we use the term losing a loved one. Do you understand what I mean? So things do transition.
They transition.
Things transition, right? Energy lasts forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you think of the memories that you have with that loved one, they don't go nowhere. And with
Yeah.
those memories come feelings. And those are the only things that's really real. Do you know what I'm saying? Though, that to
You
be
can
able
go.
to
You can
feel
go back to that thing at any given time and
anytime.
experience. And your mind doesn't know the difference. Your mind still it
Exactly.
will take you back to the same feelings. You'll get the chills. Music is the best thing. This is
God.
I gotta talk the thing. And it was funny because me and you heard I was listening to jazz and listening to everything in the shop and stuff like that. But the connection that I realized now that we have the music is when I looked at your art, I was like, oh, I need this in my crib. Wait, mofo. What are you doing? Are you selling this stuff? Sell it. But I like the fact that you said I was doing this for me. How powerful is it or how important is it for someone to do something for themselves first?
Well, they tell you that on the plane, you got to put your own oxygen mask on first. I got 3 adult children and 4 beautiful grandchildren, and I'm a nurturer, I'm a mother all day, so I tend to put definitely my daughter before myself. My boys are so, and they're men, they're men now, so they don't need me that way. And my daughter's just a girl, and she don't really need me that way. She just thinks she do. But it's so important that when I like me, I can like you. When I don't like me, I'm only pretending to like you. Right? And, because it's hard for us to, in my opinion, to truly relish in somebody else's joy when we're not experiencing it ourselves. There was a day that when I started writing that second book, Just Making Happy, and that was in 2018. And just like, most people, all the self-help books, my library has everybody, from everybody on there. I'm a little wine tipsy right now, but everybody, just so reading those things, I started to like, okay, yeah, I can change my mind. I can do this and do that, and looking at those things. And after a while, it kind of, fades away. But there was a time when there's a period where I just felt so happy. And everything, a lot of shit was burning down around me, just like right now, today. I'm sure there's some fires around me right now, but right now at this moment in this situation, I'm good as hell. Like, I don't have to worry about what's going on there. But There was a period that came to Troy. I felt so happy. It was just kind of, it scared the shit out of me at first because I had never felt like that. It was just like, it was a wow kind of feeling. Right. And it just turned into a high. And what I realized during that period was I was just happy just because I wanted to be. See, ultimately, we chase anything that we chase is because we're chasing it to be happy. Ultimately, that's the goal. You want to be happy. But I had a profound experience with one of those books that shared with me is that, what if you're just happy first?
Before the chase.
Decide to be happy first. Because everything that I need, I want, I got love around me. I have a family that's awesome. I got a nice place to lay my head. And even if it wasn't nice, I got a place to lay my head. Be it a box, the back of my car, whatever, right? There's so many things to be grateful for right now. But we're so focused on the future stuff that we want to have that we forget the stuff that we got right now. I think my mom told me a long time ago, God is not going to bless you unless you take care of what he's giving you now. And that's just like any parent. Like, nigga, excuse me, I'm sorry. I just bought you a PlayStation 4 and you standing there looking at the box saying, well, I want a PlayStation 5.
I tell my daughter that all the time. I was like, why are your clothes on the floor? You got a place for your shoes. You literally have a shoe area for your shoes. Why don't you take it? I ain't gonna buy you nothing else. And, I was like, man, I heard this conversation somewhere before. Those Vans cost, I know you ain't at the $100 shoe level, but those Vans cost $75.
Exactly.
And you got 2 pairs. So actually you at the 100, so you start adding up. Actually, 75 and 75 is 150.
Give me them
So can you
shoes
get the
back. I want them back.
I want them back. What size are they?
I want them back. Looking for the receipt.
Like, Dad, calm down. Calm down your shoes into the closet. We put anything.
Yeah, but well, you can only be the and my personal life, a lot about my personal life, because as you said, we're friends. And the things that's going on around me right now, my flesh back in the day would have wanted to curl up in the corner and say F this, F word this, okay? But you got to make a decision. I want to be happy, and that's my choice. So instead of me focusing on all the craziness that I can't control, because I can't control those things, things that's happening, the pieces of it that I can control, which is me, is the things that I'm going to choose to control. And I got good friends, no matter what's going on out there, I got good friends that I can talk to, and we all got our things going on, and we don't have to dwell on those things. Let's dwell on the good stuff. Like I'm coming to LA, it makes me so excited to get on the phone and talk to you about LA and show you some places that I want to stay and all that. Those are the things that are giving me life. Those are the things that's attracting to me. I can sit here and worry about stuff that's going to make me sad, but that shit just sounds stupid.
It does. You ain't heard it from me, but
right.
But here's the thing. The thing that's so funny is that my partner Ed with DLP Consulting, Elevate is one of his main things. Elevation. It's a part. Once you go to DLP Consulting website, it's on there. He uses the number 8. It was on his license plate tag. But I specifically said that I only wanted a cusp of people around me. I tell people when I'm consulting them, I said, look, your team needs to have your energy or higher. And I mentioned the other day about this whole thing. People always no new friends. I was like, if you don't have new friends, how do you get new experiences?
I don't understand. They say
I know the mentality is, but if you're people have to be mindful of how they carry into the next level. You talked about it when wealth comes and all this stuff. You got art. You got enough art to between what you're gonna do, millions are on the way for you. But the thing about it is, how do you carry an energy of bitterness into a good level and expect good things? Some people's like, yeah, when I get to this level, most of those people I've ever heard to say, when I get to this next level, I'm not gonna do A, B, C, and E, these people and this. I've never seen them get to the next level. Some people do, but how is it? There's a lot of people who are lonely on the next level because they thought, oh, well, I'm just stay to me. Like people say, they get the big house and they get into a neighborhood where the houses are so far apart, they don't have neighbors, nobody comes to the house, nobody visits them. What was that for?
Troy, we need connection. We're human. We need connection. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we all, I'm sure somebody somewhere is sitting there saying, oh, she did me wrong. She did me dirty.
I know they're looking at me like.
You're right, exactly. Oh, and now she will go be happy. Nigga, is you crazy? So now you just make it happy. But, we just trying to get through this human experience. All of us. Yeah. It's nothing perfect about us. I don't want to hang on to nothing like that. I don't want it. It don't feel good to just be angry and walking around because somebody else is just as fucked up as I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just in a different kind of way. And Jen Sincero, she has this book called You're a Badass. And it's one of my favorites. And she's so down to earth. If you got Audible, download her book, You Are a Badass. Jen Sincero, she's amazing. And if anybody knows her, tell her I plugged her on the Troy Rawlings show. But, she talks about when you start to look at people and start to judge what they are going through now, because it's their story. When you start to judge their story because you feel like it has hurt you in some shape, form, or fashion, she says, look at them like, oh, they're just a little bunny trying to find their way. Because we got to have compassion. If we want people to be compassionate for our situation, because we all got them, despite how perfect you may think you are, not you, Troy, but whoever that was for, me, how perfect I think I am. No, I got issues. To some people, they can overlook it. but to some people, it's a problem. But it's not my problem to try to decipher who feeling what and all that kind of stuff. It's my problem to control me and to create a happy for me so that the people I encounter, I ain't messing up your day, putting all my energy or crazy stuff that's happening around me on you. I don't want it. And I choose not to have it. I just want to be happy. And that's what I can do. And we can all do it. Me being sad don't mean that my light bill won't get paid. Not one time when I balled up in the corner crying did it pay a bill. But when I started giving thanks and gratitude and reaching out to some friends and saying, hey, how you doing? You know, anything I can do for you? Oh, you need a new website? Let me work on that with you. You know what I mean? Not always running around with my hand out looking for something. I mean, life is beautiful, Troy. Life is beautiful. And I'm coming to LA. I'm coming to LA.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Renaissance woman, Elevage Lifestyle, art by TANI, Tandra Campbell. How do people get in touch?
Troy made up my name. Troy gave me my art name.
We used to always call her Tanny. She's like, I'm not really Tanny. You know how people grow out of their nicknames. I'm Tandra now. I was like, you've always been Tandra, but you was Tanny too. Yeah. But I was like, you have to. Let me tell you what's so funny of why we did the whole TANI or art by TANI thing. Because I was like, you have to sign your. She was like, well, it's a part of Elevage Lifestyle. I said, this stuff is going to be selling. I already know I'm getting pieces for my crib and office or whatever. But when people see this art, and you can feel it, you know, plus it's close, near and dear to my heart because of the music and the jazz. So how do people get in touch with you, TANI?
Call Troy.
Call me. No, seriously, DM me.
Yeah. So the Elevage Lifestyle is a new venture for me. As never start over, we can only begin again. And I'm beginning again with this whole Elevage Lifestyle. So if you are looking for me on social media, it's Elevage Life on Instagram, also Elevage Life on Facebook. I don't have a personal IG right now, so we're just gonna keep my personal life out and just let the art shine right now. And but I am on Facebook as well as I am Tandra Campbell. So you're more than welcome to jump over there and see. So, you know, you were talking about the pieces. I have a piece that I just finished that is Betty's Baby inspired.
Don't spill no wine on the art. Even though she said something key earlier, it got deep, but it was true. She said, Troy, you know what's so awesome about art? And also what I love is that wine and art are the same. It's all about how you take. Because some people are like, oh, I don't like this wine. It doesn't matter. How does it taste to you? That's how art is. But she said something key. She was like, you know what's so awesome about art, Troy? If I make a mistake, I can just paint over it. She said, I can just paint over it. There's no real mistakes, because I can just paint over it. I can change my mind and paint over it. That's how life is. I was like, go ahead with your philosophical, you and the blab.
It's awesome having friends who get you. But this piece right here, I want to show this piece because this was inspired by you. Girl. You know, we started this together, right? We did this together.
Sure did. So, hold up, let me tell you what's so, and I don't want y'all to think that she just rushing around doing art. Started this piece 3 days ago, 4 days ago.
No, I was in Newport News. I went to Virginia Thursday, so I think I started Tuesday that week, like Monday or Tuesday.
Well, it only took you because all you had is the horizon and the skyline and the what would be the sun or the. Hold it up, babe. Hold it up. Now she doesn't always name them, so she doesn't. But this piece right here, bring a little closer. Turn it down a little bit, downward. That's gorgeous. Look at that. Come on.
I'm very excited. I like this piece a lot. It was fun to do. A friend of mine looked at it and she said, oh, I feel like freedom on there. And I really felt when she said that when I was painting the girl, that's how I was feeling, like just freedom, this new motion, you know, for the next year, I'm going to travel, you know, I'm going to.
Playing your own melody, girl.
Yeah, I'm gonna close down my place and I'm going to just bring all my creative stuff and I'm going to Airbnb around the country, world, wherever it leads me next, you know. Um,
I'm gonna send this to friends of mine. I'm actually sending you their interviews. Rhonda Swan and Brian Swan. That's what they did for 12 years or whatever it was. 2 years. I think they did 2 years. Their daughter was 12. I think that either their daughter was 2 and they did it for however long they did it. They packed up everything and just went around. And they end up landing in Bali. And now have a multi-million-dollar business in Bali, but they're doing wonderful things.
Just because you're from an area doesn't mean, you know what I mean? I know you repping your hood, but it's a beautiful world. Like, I'm not really sure where I want to end up at, you know? All I know is right now, I want to be in California. And so I'll go and I'll stay as long as the feeling hits. And like I told you before, you were saying about, well, you know, you can get a car and you can go here. Nope, I'll Uber. You know, I don't want those things holding me down like that, you know, and especially for, you know, some people say, well, how do you get to do that? How do you pay for it? With the scamdemic, it's so many remote positions that you can work at home now. You can literally be anywhere in the world. And
the other thing I told her, I looked around, I said, you got tens of thousands of dollars sitting around you now. And she looked up and said, what, you think I can say 15 pieces? Look, I gotta go. Tandra Campbell, I'm about to get upset about it. She got all, what do you mean? Look at her place. Y'all can't see, y'all might see a little bit of it, but I'm looking at the whole panoramic view. She got art all over the place that she just did and not realizing that God has just blessed you again with another thing you can do. You're already a businesswoman, author, entrepreneur, hairstylist, whatever you put your hands to seems to do amazing things. So.
And I think, you know, I'm not like an anomaly. You know, a lot of people are like, have so many of these, most people got talents they haven't even tapped into yet. And that's what this Elevage brand is for me, is to help people just tap into it. Like, you know, who I wouldn't have guessed. And now, you know, I feel it, you know, I feel it when you said it. And I must have been feeling when I was around here painting up everything. Right.
That's right.
And ironically, there was somebody in my life who was just kind of like, all you do is paint, like type deal. And then I put it away for a second thinking, well, maybe that's, you know, let me just focus on some other stuff then. And then after like 2 days of me going through a little withdrawal, I'm like, you're out your mind. Like, and honestly, that happens. So sometimes we can surround ourselves with people who, you know, you get what I'm saying? When God is trying to reveal something to you or open doors for you, there's somebody standing close to you that's telling
you. Like, why are you doing that? And it's like, it makes me feel good. And that should be enough now. You know, when is that? That should be enough for us. It makes me feel good.
And it is enough, but people are scared to say that. People are afraid to say that. And they're afraid to say that because they are so concerned about other people's perception. Honestly, people ain't thinking about your ass as much as you think they are.
No.
All they're thinking about is what you think about me. You know, they're so concerned about what you think about them and you thinking what they think about you, but who really gives a shit? You know, because behind closed doors, all you getting is my representative anyway. You get what I'm saying, Troy? And we're getting theirs. So when you told me the story about when you know, we talk about when you were going to LA and the people that were saying, nah, you can blah, blah, blah. That kills so much potential for so many people, you know? Right. What I've learned is success looks different for everybody. You know, it's very subjective. I have a really good girlfriend who works for the IRS. She's been there forever. You know, she moves on up the ladder and so forth. And she does well. You know, her and her husband, her family, they fun trips and all that. And that looks successful. And for her, she's happy. She's successful. For me, that's not success. I don't want to work at the IRS. You know, I don't want to move up that corporate ladder. So for me, that's not would be my success. You know, right. For me now at this age, when I die, of course I want a lot of money to be able to pay for doves and shit. But when I die, honestly, land on my deathbed, what am I really gonna be thinking about? I'm gonna be thinking about the memories, the things that I was able to build. You know, hopefully, you know, I left something to somebody that's going to help them go somewhere. You know, we ain't gonna give a shit about a car. We're not gonna care about the no house. We're not gonna care about any of that. People are gonna lay there and regret what they didn't do because they don't have that memory, that feeling to carry with them as they cross over. In my opinion, Troy.
I've talked to several people, and it sounds morbid, but before they passed, including my father, I remember interviewing my father for 2 hours before he really got sick from acute leukemia and passed away not too long later. But memories and regrets, that's all people usually talk about.
That's it, memories and regrets. So, you know, you can decide right now what you're going to talk about on the way out. Me, I'm going to make a plan while everybody's standing around me, and I'm real old because they old. I'm old, okay?
I'll be old.
Right. We're going to laugh. We're going to, you know, those are the memories. As you said, like, once we start to understand that death is a part of the whole picture, and we're so afraid of it, but what if it's good? Like, what if when we pass over, it feels phenomenal, and your body does this whole euphoric thing like an orgasm?
I think it's the Marines. It's the Marines or some armed force, and we got to do a part 2 with Tani. Marines or some armed forces or somebody say everybody want to go to heaven, but nobody want to die.
But why? Why? Energy doesn't die, and we're just energy. You hold your hand under a microscope and see that we're just energy. So we don't die. The energy just has to pass on to something else. That's scientific.
And a lot of people, I've heard them, when you go a certain way, I've heard people say, well, I'm ready. And they're not ready. I don't think they're saying they're ready. I think you get to a point where you realize there is something else, and you're ready for what's next.
Right, but we're so scared, we're so hurt. You don't even know what you're scared of yet. Like, you just scared.
That's what fear is. But that's what fear is. Fear is ignorance.
Yeah, so
we're fearful of what we don't know. We're always fearful.
Talk about that on part 2, Troy. We're gonna talk about that on part 2. Fear. We always
y'all hit me up.
It's never gonna happen.
Y'all hit me up so we can get y'all some art in your hands, so we can get your books. You got a picture? You got your book? Where's your book?
This is my first book. It's 0 to 100, The Warrior's Way to Winning. And it is still available on Amazon, Book Nook, Barnes and Nobles, all those great places. And then I have a second book that is right now going through edit. And it's called Just Making Happy, Command Your Happy Lifestyle. And it talks about, you know, how to be happy, period. And honest, unfortunately, we need a book to tell us ways to be happy. And it's just not me saying, hey, you could do this and be happy. It's talking about laws, you know, universal laws. If you are working on a job for 8 hours a day and you're miserable for those 8 hours a day, well, guess what? That's way too many hours to be miserable. You just attracted a whole lot of bullshit into your life. So the book just talks about the daily routine from getting up in the morning to driving to work, happy handling your day, so that you're not spending your time creating the wrong energies. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like little things on your work day that you can do to, like, you could be on a job that you totally hate, but there's a lot of things in that job I'm sure that you can find that you love about that job. And if it's not, create it. So you can create your happy day. You can make sure that your energy is not fucked for 8 hours a day, and then you take it home, and then it interferes with your household and all that. You know, it talks about after you get off of work. I think that everybody should have a happy hour before you go home. Before you go home to your family, take an hour or so and do something that's strictly about you and that you will love. Now, whatever it is, but it's all about you. And then make sure that your energy and your frequency is high before you go home. Because we often tend to take our work day because we don't like where we are. We don't like what we're doing. We sit on Instagram and Facebook and watch all these people's wonderful life all day. And now I got to go home to this. You know what I mean? You go home, go bowling, go to the thrift store, you know, whatever. And just stay up. Whatever it takes, stay up. It's up to us. It's up to you.
Tandra Campbell, yo. Thank you, girl. Thank you for taking a minute with me. We got to do a part 2 so we can talk some more. Actually, we may do part 2 before she's here in Los Angeles. But if not,
Because I'm coming soon.
Love you, girl. I'll talk to you in a bit.
All right. Be good.